अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। अपनी मेरी तबीयत आज थोड़ी डाउन हुई हुई है। जस्ट
हम्म।
स्लर्ड स्पीच।
ओवरऑल ही सीजन जरा चेंज हो रहा है ना, इस वजह से।
हाँ, प्रोबेबली यूसुफ भी उठा है, उसके गले में दर्द हो रही थी, मेरे भी गले में
हम्म।
दर्द से आई डोंट नो, मिक्स्ड ही हैं चीजें।
हम्म।
शुक्र है अल्लाह का, नहीं आई एम फीलिंग मच बेटर नाउ, बट थोड़ा सा ना ऐसे जैसे स्लो मो, मे बी इट्स अ वीकेंड सिंड्रोम एज वेल आई गेस।
हम्म।
फील लेजी जस्ट बाय थिंकिंग कि अच्छा सैटरडे है, अच्छा ये तो वो एक आप रिलैक्स से उस फेज में आ जाते हो, है ना।
हाँ बिल्कुल। मेरा तो मुझे बच्चों से ज्यादा मुझे अपना लगता है कि मेरा वीकेंड बिकॉज बच्चों ने स्कूल नहीं जाना होता, एंड नो अर्ली वेकिंग, एंड सो
हाँ,
आई लुक फॉरवर्ड टू द वीकेंड एक्चुअली।
नहीं हमारी एक और प्रॉब्लम है ना, वी फील एंटाइटल्ड एज वेल, वी फील एंटाइटल्ड टू द रेस्ट एंड यू नो,
हाँ,
कि हम अब
होना भी चाहिए यार।
माशाल्लाह से
होना
बच्चे बड़े हो गए
चाहिए।
हैं तो लेट टीन्स में हैं, तो फिर अब होता है
हम्म।
कि यू नो नाउ वी डिजर्व टू रेस्ट, नाउ वी डिजर्व टू गेट लेजी, नाउ वी
डेफिनेटली। हाँ,
दे 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 काफी सारी चीजें हैं, हमने अपने आप को हमने अलाउ की हुई,
बड़ी बड़ी टफ ड्यूटीज दी
ऑल्दो
गई हैं।
although it
बनता है
should
रेस्ट।
be, I think it should be the other way around because I was just discussing with someone
हम्म।
कि अ, जैसे जैसे एग्जाम करीब आता है तो एफर्ट्स इंक्रीज करने चाहिए। आई थिंक माय चेयर इज मेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ नॉइज, लेट मी जस्ट मूव फ्रॉम हियर। जैसे जैसे एग्जाम करीब आता है तो एफर्ट्स इंक्रीज हो जाती है ना,
हम्म।
लाइक शुरू में आप एक रेगुलर आप रिवीजन कर रहे होते हो, फिर जैसे जैसे एग्जाम
हाँ।
करीब आते हैं तो आप एक क्रैश कोर्स जिसको बोलते हैं, है ना,
बिल्कुल।
क्रैश कोर्सेज होते हैं और रिविजन होती हैं।
हाँ,
तो
विद एवरी पासिंग डे हमारा एग्जाम करीब ही आ रहा है। लाइफ शॉर्टन हो रही है ऑब्वियसली, जितनी भी है।
नहीं फील हो रहा है, एटलीस्ट फील होना चाहिए, फील
हम्म।
होना चाहिए। एंड आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग कि यू नो, आई वाज ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड a little bit more about how one should approach
हम्म।
the problems of life and how to perceive them, how to, because first you have to have a clear concept about the problems of life, otherwise, you know, just like diagnosis, like first you need to diagnose them and then you have
हम्म।
to have a protocol of treatment.
या।
हमारा यही होता था ना कि पहले डायग्नोसिस करना है, फिर उसका ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉल होता है, ABCD, ये फर्स्ट स्टेप,
हम्म।
ये सेकंड स्टेप, ये थर्ड, ये फोर्थ। तो
बिल्कुल। और किस चीज को पहले एड्रेस करना है, बिकॉज
पहले किसको एड्रेस
एक
करना
एक
है।
बंदे में काफी प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकती हैं, सिर्फ एक नहीं हो सकती। सो
हाँ,
हैव टू
तो
डिसाइड कि
जैसे
किस
जैसे रोड साइड जो रोड एक्सीडेंट पे आते थे, उसका ट्रॉमा, वो जो ट्रॉमा हमने किया था
हम्म।
इन इमरजेंसी, और ट्रॉमा के जो हमने किया था उसमें यही था ना, ABCD प्रोटोकॉल।
हाँ।
जो ज़्यादा इमरजेंसी है पहले उसको एड्रेस करते हैं, फिर जो कम है उसको बाद में एड्रेस करते हैं, फिर अम, यानी एक बड़ा इंटेलिजेंट तरीके से आपको क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस करना होता है कि कौन सी चीज़ को पहले देखना है, फिर कौन सी चीज़ को। इट्स
हम्म।
नॉट लाइक, जिसे कहते हैं ना, इट्स नॉट लाइक ऑटो पायलट पे नहीं हो रहा होता, इट्स लाइक वेरी कॉन्शियस decision making is involved, presence of mind, focus,
हम्म।
analysis of the situation, you know, macro
हम्म।
level, micro level analysis of the situation. Then
हम्म।
you have to deal with their um, what was the word we used to say? Anyhow, there was a word in Norwegian वाला याद आ रहा है ज़हन में, the attendees, like जो भी उसके साथ आते हैं, patients, family and those people।
अटेंडेंस ही कहते हैं, हाँ।
हाँ, तो उनको डील करना, फिर उनके साथ भी आपने एक्सप्लेन करना, फिर आप जो प्रोसीजर कर रहे हो उसको भी आपने ज़हन में रखना कि आपको एंड ऑफ द डे एक्सप्लेनेशन देनी होगी, व्हाई डिड यू चूज़ दिस प्रोसीजर, व्हाई डिड यू चूज़ टू गो दिस वे। There is a
Hmm.
lot of accountability here. There's a lot of accountability and presence of mind and focus and decision making. And how do we? A lot of choices are being made every moment. You know,
Hmm.
when you receive a patient and you're from the moment of diagnosis to the treatment and the बाद क्या प्लानिंग जो होती है उसकी, तो
Hmm.
बहुत सारी डिसीजंस आप बना रहे होते हो, है ना?
Hmm.
बहुत सारी चॉइसेस होती हैं इन्वॉल्व।
Hmm.
तो लाइफ इज अबाउट so many choices and so many decisions.
Yeah, I
Every
mean,
moment.
जैसे जैसे अभी ये हमारे मेडिकल में हमने क्या चूज किया करना, हाउ वी चोज, और कि हमने एक्शन क्या करना है और किस तरह से उसकी ट्रीटमेंट करनी है, और उसके अकॉर्डिंगली उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस होंगे.
Hmm.
So sometimes because of our wrong decision or wrong timing, we face the wrong consequences. So
Hmm.
same in our life, okay, when we have to, you know, the fact that it's like, free will, or या मेरी मर्जी, या I felt like doing this, yeah, I thought this is better, but it has its consequences.
Hmm.
तो आउटकम
Yes,
क्या
there
है
are.
चॉइस का, और
Hmm.
उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या हैं, एंड रिजल्ट क्या है,
Hmm.
that is something that we have to be careful about or cautious about.
Hmm.
Okay, whatever we are doing, I mean, in this world, whatever we're doing, it will have its consequences, and we have to know, okay, we made this choice and what will be the outcome in the end.
Okay. Can you make a wild guess how many decisions we make in a day?
Yeah, like I saw that there's been some research, and it's been said by some psychologists and neuroscientists that a person, an adult, generally makes about 35,000 conscious decisions in a day.
Hmm.
That's like,
It's like it includes
uh,
every little, from every little decision to
yeah,
bigger one, like Cornell University researchers in 2007
mm,
estimated that we make over 200 decisions every day about food
yeah,
alone. And then conscious versus unconscious, only a small fraction
yeah,
are made consciously, and the vast majority are automatic, like habitual or emotional
yeah, the habits.
mood swings or mental shortcuts, or I believe, yeah, 35,000, I guess. Maybe they just multiply it by, the minutes. Every minute we are
Mm,
making a decision, every minute you're choosing to be lazy is like a new decision or something.
hmm.
And then there are complex decisions that could be hundreds to thousands of micro decisions related to work, prioritizing, reading, then expressions, adjusting tone. Yeah, oh, that's interesting, eh? How we, whether we choose to frown or keep a poker face, or, smile or react nicely and
You know,
speak in a good tone or not.
we were, I was in some, class, and there was this exercise we were made to do in that. It was a mental exercise, some neurocognitive type. So what they asked was, कि every time uh, a negative thought comes into your mind, it can
Mm,
be anything, about anything. but you know, when you decide कि was it a positive thought or was it a negative thought, so
Mm.
you have to, every time that negative thought comes in your mind, you have to write four positive thoughts against that.
Mm.
So what happened was that in the beginning, within half an hour, each and every, and you know, it had to be like, you know, in this span of time, or in 1 hour, or in 2 hours, so what happened was that in the beginning, it was it was so amazing. It was as if there were, you know, just negative things coming to your mind. But when your brain had to work to find some four, you know, against every negative thought that comes, the brain had to think about some four positive things. So what
Mm.
happened gradually was, okay, the amount of negative thoughts coming to your mind gradually with the passing hours, it reduced, and it reduced a lot. So I was thinking that the brain, which was just, you know, going haywire here and there, when it had to work against those, you know, okay,
Mm.
okay, I'll have to work, and you know, so the brain programmed itself to start blocking those negative thoughts.
Mm.
So even that is a, you know, that is a decision which was unconsciously made, subconsciously made in the mind.
Mm.
So, but that really gave me a realization that
Yeah, that's a
without
good
our
one.
knowing,
It's the reward punishment thing, like, oh,
yeah,
I'm being punished with four positive thoughts.
yeah,
No way. I have to
yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Yeah,
I have to
that was a
find
good
some
one.
positive thoughts.
Mm. But do you really
So,
believe there is this concept? There's a psychologist that said Roy Baumeister. I don't know how to pronounce his name. So he said the more choices you make throughout the day, the harder each one becomes for your brain. So there's a thing called decision fatigue. There's a phenomenon.
yeah,
They
yeah,
That's why many
definitely.
performing people simply they simplify their choices. Like they,
Hmm.
you know, something like in the line of minimalists. Or
Hmm.
you might have heard that, you know, a certain person, some CEO, only wears, you know, walk into their closet, there's only black t-shirts. They don't
Yeah, I've
use,
heard of that. Mark
yeah.
Zuckerberg. He's,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it goes back to Einstein. Like he also had only same colored or two t-shirts or three t-shirts, or he just, you know.
Ah,
So they wouldn't bother much about such thing because they say the time spent on choosing clothes every day, they can do something better with it. So do you really think it helps? I mean, is it a mental,
definitely
it is just
helps.
it is a decision fatigue, or it is just like
Definitely.
simplifying life on its own?
You know, like we being at home, I feel that brain when you have to decide, and you have to, even when you have to, you know, very normal, small things, the
Mm.
things like what to cook today,
Mm.
even that, you know, that stress, it starts a little, you know, it, and it keeps on crawling in your mind even a lot before the time when you actually have to get the stuff for it. And when you actually have to, you know, when you actually have to make it, a lot before that, the anxiety and the stress starts to creep in. Okay, what to do, and the decision of every day alternating just your meals, that is even draining. And then when, you know, you have to get ready to go to so you have to wear some specific sort of clothes, so subconsciously that stress remains in your mind ki, okay, today I wore this, okay, tomorrow what am I going to wear now to my
Mm.
office, or to, you know, wherever I have to go. So these are those things which, if they were eliminated, I even saw there was this celebrity, and she said that she can have the same meal every day, every time, and you know, it
Mm.
just keeps her relaxed. I mean, it doesn't bother her. And I
Mm.
was like, how? She was like,
You know,
because, you know,
they said
I
about
don't think much about food.
one of those Spice Girls who's married to David Beckham.
Yeah, her
There's a
name is
rumor. Yeah, there's a rumor
Victoria Beckham. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a rumor she's maybe it's a rumor, maybe it's her husband who told off, you know.
Hmm.
He revealed that she's been eating the same, I guess it was salmon or same like fish in her meal for the past 20 years or something. She's had the same.
Wow.
So some people are that
Yeah, so these
specific.
are
I
people,
mean, they're so health conscious or whatever. They just so religiously
and
follow their
it can
routine.
be also that they don't want to give too much importance into, spending the time of what to eat, or no, I don't feel like eating this and I feel like eating that, and now I have to prepare that or get it somehow. So some
Mm.
people are just go above that thing, and
Mm.
I mean, that's the way I understand it.
Yeah, I still
That.
remember in Norway, when I used to do like grocery shopping, and there would be two, three
Hmm.
people in line, and they would have one banana, one apple, one avocado,
Hmm.
and I would be like, yeah, what are they
Yeah.
doing? One banana? I mean, they
Yeah.
usually have bunches on display, and I would be in the beginning when I went there, I was like,
Hmm.
isn't it like stealing or something? Like they cut off one banana from the bunch, and is it normal
Hmm.
even? Is it
Hmm.
like allowed, or is he like
Hmm.
बदतमीजी नहीं लगती जैसे कि like what are they?
Yeah.
But then later I realized it was so common. Someone in the line, one or two people would be there who would have just one banana and
Wow.
just a little bunch of grapes and one pear, one apple. And I was like, yeah, what are
Hmm.
they doing? And they even had one fillet pack of um, salmon or small one, just one
Hmm.
slice of that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And now I realize, they just oversimplified their life. They would just go there, warm it up in the microwave, cut a
Yeah.
apple or a banana, and that's it. And they would usually have long walks, and they're very. And I hardly saw anybody obese in Norway, and it's the exact opposite over here in America. It's just a alarming situation. And eating habits are way horrible,
Hmm.
horrible
Hmm.
form of gluttony. And over
Yeah.
there, the life was so difficult, so different. Over here, it's totally opposite. And it's
Hmm.
quite interesting. Like you hop over an aeroplane and you go from one place to the other, and you realize there's so much difference in
Hmm.
cultures, in people, and their belief systems, and their approach towards life, and their eating habits, and their manners, and their usual.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. It's interesting
Hmm.
moving from one place to the other, and then realizing that how different people are doing things differently, and
Hmm.
you learn so many ways of doing the same thing. You
Hmm.
know, maybe even you learn so many ways of living life. Okay, life
Yeah.
can be lived this way as well. Okay, so life can be lived this way as well. So that's quite interesting
Yeah.
when you move from one place to the
So
other.
many of the things that we do, if you think a little, you know okay, why are we doing this, or why are we spending our day like this? Why do we feel the compulsion that we have to do this? We
Mm,
are so much bound by the culture or our society or the opinions and standards which the society puts us in.
mm,
So, I mean, something that would be considered quite, quite ridiculous or quite, unnecessary. In some places, it becomes like a compulsion, a farz, कि ऐसे ही होना है और ऐसे नहीं हुआ तो,
mm,
you're quite shunned. So, even those are decisions, the
mm,
very tough decisions that you take, and going against those things, which would be you know, which would be against the norms of the society or the culture. But actually, in the eyes of, like Islamically or in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the what we should be doing is actually the opposite of what we're actually we feel the compulsion or the Okay,
Hmm.
we have to do this, we have to follow this trend or tradition or
Hmm. अच्छा मजे की बात बताऊं.
hmm.
Yeah, now that I've started taking Islamic studies a bit seriously, and I go through some hadiths, and I have to read a few books and stuff that previously I have not been exposed to. And my parents were
Hmm.
like normal, regular जैसे होते हैं जो parents होते हैं जो average good parents, but not very like diving deep into any religious books or something like that.
Hmm.
Although we used to have quite a lot of religious discussions in the house, but
Hmm.
still I am so ashamed of myself when I like past 40 years of age and I'm discovering, a hadith for the first time.
Yeah.
I get so surprised and I feel so ashamed, and now it's becoming like a almost like I feel a sense of urgency that why didn't I know this before? This is a hadith. I mean, come on, this is a hadith. I never heard of it
Hmm.
before. So at least, I mean, children should have been um, taught, the way we are
Hmm.
taught Quran. There are not too many hadiths. Once we could just read them like a storybook or something. One
Hmm.
could take out the complicated ones of inheritance
Hmm.
or other things, but at least, make them go through ahadis that are make some books that are easy for children, and then go let them go through 2000, 3000 ahadis as a
Hmm.
as a bedtime ritual or as something. Now it's so surprising. I mean, just look at this. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "The most dangerous or fiercest enemy you have is your own self, that is between
Hmm.
your two sides." And this has
Hmm.
been graded as Hassan by many scholars, and this is like its chain of narration is also here. And this means the nafs, you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
the most dangerous enemy you have is your own self, that is your nafs,
Yeah.
right? Between your two sides means the right and left side that's
Hmm.
in your own body. So when like your nafs is and your nafs is the thing that is behind your tongue as well,
Yeah.
behind your desires and behind your, I mean,
Hmm.
of the 35,000 decisions that we are making every day, or maybe, every time we utter something, that is a decision as well.
Yeah.
Every time we stay quiet, that
Definitely.
is a decision as well. So if you
Hmm.
include that in decisions, then yes, it is quite possible we make thousands and thousands and thousands of decisions every
Hmm.
day because we are constantly talking about one thing or the other. And then the thing that causes people to enter hell is the two hollow parts, the mouth and the private parts. Now,
Hmm.
so many people are just randomly talking, and some people are just unconsciously just on autopilot. They're talking, 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 and they have no worry. What are the consequences of my words? Is somebody going to get offended? Is somebody going to get affected? uh,
Hmm.
if my words are inspiring somebody into some negative action or
Hmm.
inaction, am I teasing somebody? Am I being critical? Am I a cause of stress to somebody? Am I causing
Hmm.
somebody to get into depression? We don't
Hmm.
bother. When we say something, we don't really bother about our tone. We are
Hmm.
apologetically just blurting things out. So these are also conscious decisions, and nobody is stopping you. Like all day, the way we have a menu. Okay, what do you want? Oh, I want a paratha. I want anda. No, I want paratha and I want yogurt. And the other
Hmm.
person would say, no, I want only paratha and chai. So these are
Hmm.
decisions. Nobody's coming and stopping you from, oh, like it's preordained that you will have paratha and chai today. No, it's not like that. So
Hmm.
imagine now decision making is so important, and nobody taught us the importance of decision making in school.
Yeah.
Decision making is such an important thing, such a
Hmm.
huge part of life, that people can be so blind, people can be so bad at decision making that they choose to not believe in God.
Hmm.
That's a decision they make.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody deciding to go to hell.
Hmm.
What a bad decision maker. And when Allah Ta'ala is telling us that 999 out of 1000 of the Ibn Adam, sons of Adam, are going to hell, choosing hell, what bad decision makers are human beings. We have Surah Baqarah in the Quran, we have Surah Baqarah telling us how the Bani Israel reacted, and repeatedly, Allah Ta'ala said, I chose you, I chose you, I blessed you, I chose you. So many times Allah forgave them. I was shocked when I read the tafsir and I found out Allah Ta'ala forgave them even after the cow incident, like the
Yeah.
calf, the golden calf incident. They were forgiven even after that.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised that time and again, Allah Ta'ala is like, after Manu Salwa, they become ungrateful, then they refuse to go and fight in the way of Allah, and then so many times they just troubled Hazrat Musa alayhi salam so much. Like he was really sick and tired of them by the end.
Went to the extent of killing so many prophets.
Yeah.
They didn't
So,
like.
but first
Uh,
Allah Ta'ala blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed them, and then and sent so many messengers, so many reminders, so many messengers, you know. And that despite the favoritism and despite the pampering and the heaven sent food and everything, and despite that, imagine, and Allah has quoted their example because Allah has shown that every human being has this same tendency. And even the last ummah is also going to be prone to such bad decisions and habits and culture following and disobeying Allah. And Auzubillah, may Allah protect us from all of this. So decisions are very, very integral part of our life, and Allah has given us free will, because when you're not given free will, you're not given a menu.
yeah.
Allah has explained in the Quran that I have made the halal and haram have been made clear to you. You know,
Hmm.
everything has been made clear to you. Qad tabayyana rushdu minal ghayy, the clear path
Hmm.
and the transgression, everything has been made very clear to you. Qad tabayyana rushdu minal ghayy. So, जो कोई anyone who accepts uh, to believe, they do it for their own good. Whoever wants to disbelieve, they do it for their own destruction. So,
Yeah. I
and
mean, when
we were never taught how to make good decisions. I don't remember ever somebody sitting us down and teaching us that, how to be a good decision maker, and then teaching us how to do istikhara. Or I mean, out of our own interest, I remember that my I just went got into istikhara because I used to have received these magazines, and they used to in an editorial or some article I read that, some person did istikhara and then this answer came and that came, and so I just stumbled upon it, and then I started doing istikhara. Otherwise, I don't really remember somebody in the house sitting us down and telling us to do istikhara, or to ask Allah to make good decisions, or to, remember that there are bad consequences of bad decisions, or nothing. It was never made a big deal.
yeah, I mean, mera so like my concept of istikhara was and same as my parents, like कि किसी बहुत कोई पहुंचे हुए इबादत गुजार सी कोई हस्ती उनसे कोई पूछें आप तो दैट इज द इस्तिखारा तो आप कर ही नहीं सकते खुद का सो दैट वाज
Mm,
देयर कॉन्सेप्ट एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई अंडरस्टूड बट लाइक ऑब्वियसली मतलब द वे यू टॉक अबाउट इट तो तब आई स्टार्टेड टू रियलाइज कि एक्चुअली इस्तिखारा तो इज सपोज टू बी डन बाय यू योरसेल्फ you are
mm,
supposed to consult Allah Ta'ala. I mean, but that concept is still not in my, family or
mm,
uh, so. And another thing was that came to my mind regarding this was okay, when Allah Ta'ala created man, the human being, so that was the main thing, that he was given the free will, his
Mm.
own decisions that was given to him, because otherwise it was like, he would have been an angel actually. वो जो फरिश्ते होते हैं उनकी अपनी वो नहीं है free will. They are, they are to follow the decisions and the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We were given that, we were created, and the beauty of it was that we were given the free will to take our own decisions, and we knew the reality, the facts, the, why we are created, and we still wanted, all of us, all the human beings, the souls of each and every human being, we pledged that, we know um, the reality and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we still want to be sent to the earth. But, you know,
Mm. But
and when
imagine.
we came to the earth, we took those. So we made
Hmm.
those decisions where we are today. Like we decided, our souls knew the truths, the fact, the reality,
Mm.
but still,
Acha, this is one of the problems. I think this is one of the things that we miss, and many people they misunderstand this thing that some people, there are the all or none principle wale log,
hmm,
the people who either it's 100 or 0. So
yeah,
some go to one extreme, some go to the other extreme. Some say everything is our doing. You know, some people are like that. That जितनी मेहनत करोगे उतना फल मिलेगा. It's not always like that. You
hmm,
know, an Arab prince born in a family of Arab king. उसने कोई
yeah,
मेहनत नहीं की. Who has a Bugatti of gold and diamonds
hmm,
didn't earn it. So it's not like that. It's not that simple. That सिर्फ मेहनत करोगे और वही मिलेगा. It doesn't happen like that. And
yeah,
sometimes you do work and you don't get it. Sometimes there's a 9 months pregnancy. उसके बाद miscarriage हो जाता है या बेबी की डेथ हो जाती है. So things are not according to what we want all the time. And then
yeah,
some people are like, कि नहीं, everything is done by Allah. That is also wrong. So there is a clear cut balance between the two. Some things are in your hands, and then in the end, the results are in Allah's hand. And most likely, what you do, like आप दाल बना रहे हो, चिकन तो नहीं पक जाएगा ना. या आप चिकन
hmm,
पका रहे हो तो दाल नहीं पकेगी. You're making chicken, you're cutting chicken, you're cooking chicken. Chicken is going to be ready. If you're making
hmm,
biryani, biryani is going to be ready. It's not going to be dal chawal. You know. So some things are
yeah,
pretty clear. Whatever you're doing, you will get the results of what you're doing.
yeah,
But then whether you will have the money tomorrow to buy that chicken or not, that is going to be, maybe Allah will intervene. Maybe you'll have the money. Maybe you'll need your car will break down. You'll need that money to spend, to go into repairing the car. You don't have money
yeah,
tomorrow for chicken. Those are the things that Allah will decide, okay, in the long run. Sometimes it happens like this, that Allah intervenes and then we may not be able to do the things that we wish to do. But usually in our regular everyday life, what we are doing in the 24 hours, we get up, we brush our teeth, we do our salah or not. These are the decisions that we are consciously making every day, and the results are accordingly.
hmm,
So both things are hand in hand. Like some things Allah will allow, but this is not like Allah will allow and you would do salah. That's wrong. That's wrong way of thinking. Some people are like, oh, Allah did not permit me, that's why I'm not doing salah. Or Allah did not call me, that's why my umrah is not happening. These are such wrong things to say. These are so
yeah,
utterly wrong things to say, as if there was a time when there were 365 idols in the Kaaba. Was it Allah who put them there?
yeah,
I mean, people don't even think when they utter things. Allah says in the Quran that their shaitan forces them to say about Allah things that they shouldn't. Without knowledge, they say things about Allah Ta'ala which are not true.
ah. And there's
So,
also this thing. This is a stance which was taken by Shaitan,
hmm,
when Adam alayhi salam was created, and
yeah.
so
So he was
the
so
mistake
arrogant.
was,
He was like, "You made me do it."
Yeah, exactly. So the blame, he shifted the blame and he said, "Okay, you knew I would do this.
This
You
victim
made me do."
mentality, playing
Yeah.
victim all the time,
So
and
this
never
is
taking responsibility for our decisions, and then
this is
gaslight.
what he puts in the minds of the, the humans like us. This is how he, absolves us of the wrong that we do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he tried to gaslight Allah Ta'ala, Nauzubillah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, in a way. Like
Yeah.
this is the term we use these days, right? Gaslighting. So
Yeah.
he tried in a way to Nauzubillah gaslight, like the most perfect and Subhan being. He can't even associate anything in the imagination that he could
Yeah.
ever do anything wrong. He says he doesn't do any injustice at all, not even an atom
So
size, not even the size of the membrane on the date, the white thin membrane on the date seed. Like even that
so
you can't imagine. Allah has made it haram on himself to do any zulm or any injustice.
yeah.
So like pure and infallible he is, and now
Yeah.
like he tried to gaslight such a pure and supreme, magnificent
And
creator.
this is what he does. Even even us humans, this is what we do. We don't want to accept to such an extent. Okay, we blame the circumstances, we blame somebody else, or reactions, or bad decisions. We want, our brain automatically wants to defend, and I would say that our souls, actually, our nafs wants to
Mm.
defend. Okay, we are the wrongdoers. So
Mm.
uh, it was like, naturally in our programming, we are going
Mm.
to take wrong decisions. We are going to cross those lines where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade us, like when Hazrat Adam, alayhi salam, and Hazrat Hawa, they were told that this is your line, don't go near that tree.
Mm.
They crossed it. That was a wrong decision. They decided. Um, but then, you know, um, so this was a lesson to us that you will cross the lines, you will make the wrong decisions according to your, free will. But then there is also this pathway of acknowledging or realizing where you did the wrong instead of, saying, "Okay, it's not my fault and it's your fault," and, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So you have to acknowledge and then you have to ask for forgiveness. You have to mend that.
So in a way, Allah Ta'ala gave us a demonstration of don't be like
Yeah,
Iblis, be like Adam.
yeah.
You know, like have you seen those Apple and Samsung ads? No, Apple and MacBook, Apple and sorry, MacBook and PC.
Mm,
Hi, I'm
no,
Mac. Hi, I'm PC. Okay, there are
no.
apps. Maybe you can search them up, look them up later on. I'll show you. There are a few ads. They're very, very intelligently made, and we often enjoy them. Me and my kids. So they're hi, I'm Mac. Hi, I'm PC. So there's
Mm,
a way of Mac and PC. They're so big enemies, rivals here in the US, like Coke and Pepsi, and Mac and PC. They are such big rivals that they usually it is not allowed to take other people's names in your ads, but they openly mock each other. You know, in their ad campaigns. They're such big rivals.
wow.
So there is this thing in those ads. So they're like um, they're demonstrating how a Mac is different from PC, and the Mac is kind of like something is rebooting, and the PC is still buffering, and Mac has already done the task. Such things, like
Mm,
such ads they have.
mm,
So, in a way, one could say that Allah Ta'ala has demonstrated okay, this is the do and this is the don't.
yeah,
You know, like you make a
yeah,
mistake, do what Adam did and don't do what Iblis did.
yeah, yeah.
And in a way, I was just thinking that what a big, like at that time when the angels were asking, like, look how beautiful it is that even angels posed this question. Shaitan
Yeah.
had a kind of what would say इतराज क्या होता है इंग्लिश में मुझे ज़हन में इस वक्त लफ्ज़ नहीं आ रहा. He had a
Objection.
objection. Yeah, he had an objection that why did you create? But he became arrogant in that objection.
Yeah.
He was rude and
Yeah.
arrogant and fiery, like angry and all that. And the angel
Because
was also asked, why are you creating humans? Or they will do so and so and so on earth. But they did it so humbly that Allah Ta'ala
yeah.
actually explained to them and demonstrated, okay, here it is, look at them, they will tell you names and so on.
Hmm.
But when you ask him arrogantly, then you're told
Yeah.
to get out, shut up and get out. When you ask
Yeah.
nicely, politely, then Allah Ta'ala gives you all the answers. So this is also demonstrated later on as well. Even Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam asked Allah Ta'ala, how will you resurrect? And I want to see. And Allah Ta'ala
Huh.
communicating very like a, like a friend. Allah Ta'ala, oh, so you don't believe? No, he's like, no, I believe. I just want to see. So
Yeah.
it's a friendly kind of a discussion. I mean, otherwise if somebody tells you, oh, you don't believe, you're like, अरे आपने कैसे कह दिया? I don't believe.
Yeah.
We can see that Allah Ta'ala is having a friendly discussion. Also, you don't believe. And I said, no, I believe. I just want to have I just want to see it. So then Allah Ta'ala tells, okay, get 4 birds and then cut them, put them in places, call them, they'll come running to you, and all that. So I was just thinking that later, when Allah Ta'ala told Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to sacrifice, or as he understood the sacrifice of the son,
Hmm.
that is such a big slap in the face of Iblis.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't do a sajda, and he's giving his neck.
Yeah.
And then later, even further, like giving somebody else's neck is easier. I mean, he's giving the neck of his child. Even
Yeah.
further, it goes when Imam Hussain alayhi salam, like, is beheaded. So Allah Ta'ala is actually demonstrating these are people demonstrating to this is big slaps in the face of Iblis that तुम सजदा नहीं कर सके थे इन्होंने तो गर्दन दे दी उठा के.
Yeah.
What a big slap in Iblis's face that is. What a big
Yeah.
slap. Hmm? So decisions are very important, and denial is also a very important subject which we were never taught. आई थिंक वी शुड हैव बीन इवन जब आप शुरू करते हैं ना ABC से शुरू करते हैं ना A से ही आप एडम से ही शुरू करते हैं ना और शैतान और एडम का ही आप अगर किस्सा पढ़ना शुरू करते हैं ना वी शुड बी फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट चैप्टर वी शुड बी टॉट द आर्ट ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग फ्री विल and what is denial, because we see those things, we see these things right in the beginning, that how shaitan denied and how we were given the free will, and then why we should always choose God.
Hmm.
And at every decision, I would like to say that every decision requires a sajda.
Yeah.
Every decision requires a sajda. Because either you do it like a sajda in the sense that either you do a sajda of consulting Allah Ta'ala.
Yeah.
ठीक है वो सजदा हो गया कि you're doing a sajda, you're asking Allah Ta'ala, begging Allah Ta'ala to show you the right direction, because twice when Hazrat Musa alayhi salam is going seeking Hazrat Khizr, and then those young boys who are going into the cave, both of them are praying, Asa yahdiyani Rabbi, like Allah Ta'ala will guide us.
Hmm.
ठीक है तो उस वक्त वो रशदा, like the straight path, रब्बना आतिना मिन लदुनका रहमतन व हय्यि लना मिन अमरिना रशदा, एक तो ये है ना. तो I think this was रब्बना आतिना मिन लदुनका रहमतन व हय्यि लना मिन अमरिना रशदा is said by the Ashab Kahf, then one was said by Hazrat Musa, And then one was said that if you forget to say inshallah, then you say this, that Allah will guide us to the straight path or to the right decision. Then these are also recommended when you're making a decision, that you say these things, and inshallah Allah Ta'ala guides. But then when you do a sajda, like, decision is kind of a sajda, isn't it? Every
Yeah,
decision
submit
is kind
Allah
of a
Ta'ala.
submission. Yeah, every decision is a submission. You submit
Like, if you
to.
think it that way, if you will think that, okay, I want to submit, and I want to make this decision according to the will and the,
Align it with
yeah,
the will of Allah Ta'ala, and the how it won't make Allah Ta'ala angry, it will make Allah Ta'ala
yeah,
happy, you know? So yeah, the way we dress, the way we cover ourselves, the way we walk out of the house, or the way we do everything. Whether we sit idle, whether we choose to do tasbih. So every moment that we do tasbih, we decide to take Allah's name, or Subhanallah, or Alhamdulillah, or those are also decisions,
yeah.
micro decisions, macro decisions. So yeah, we were never told, we were never taught that decisions can be sacred. And then you think about it, every decision is sacred. Then when you approach it like that, then your life becomes sacred. And then this increases your taqwa, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Taqwa is your consciousness. I mean, अभी मैं पिछले दिनों मैं देख रही थी ना, तो somebody was describing ना कि मेरे at my workplace जो भी हेल्थ कॉन्शियस है ना, वो ऐसे खाना खाते हैं, तो वो ये नहीं खाते, वो नहीं खाते, उनकी डेस्क पे ना स्नैक्स ये वाले होते हैं, तो उनकी डेस्क पे जो कॉन्शियस नहीं है ना, उनके चॉकलेट्स होंगे, ये होंगे, कुकीज होंगी, ये मीठा मीठा सारा कुछ, मीठा केक्स होंगे, ये होगा। जो हेल्थ कॉन्शियस लोग हैं ना, उनके तो नट्स होंगे, और हेल्दी स्नैक्स, नथिंग चीनी वाली चीजें। एंड आई वाज लाइक एवरी आई वाज कॉन्स्टेंटली ना, मेरा वो फोकस जो था ना, वो कॉन्शियस 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 पे जा रहा था। आई वाज लाइक यार, दिस इज व्हाट तकवा इज।
Yeah.
तकवा इज so much accountability, self accountability, self awareness, consciousness, किधर खड़े हो, किससे बात कर रहे हो, क्या मुंह में डाल रहे हो, कैसे अपनी ज़िंदगी गुजार रहे हो, कैसे आपके 24 आवर्स गुजर रहे हैं, एवरीथिंग एवरीथिंग यू आर सेइंग आउट ऑफ योर माउथ। ऐसी बात तो नहीं कह दी कोई ऑफेंड हो जाए, यहाँ पे ये बात नहीं करनी, इधर वर्क प्लेस पे स्ट्रेंजर्स के सामने ये बात नहीं करनी, बस में बैठे हैं तो ऊंची आवाज़ में फ़ोन पे हाँ 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 बातें नहीं करनी। एवरीथिंग यू डू, वॉकिंग टॉकिंग आपकी सारी जो एक है, बड़ी कॉन्शियस लेवल पे आप ऑपरेट कर रहे होते हो, और एटलीस्ट
Yeah.
आइडियली दैट्स हाउ यू शुड बी ऑपरेटिंग,
Yeah.
राइट? सो जितना कोई कॉन्शियस अपनी जिंदगी गुजारता है, उतनी ही उसकी आप देखो कि ऑ बढ़ती है, इवन इन अदर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स। अ वेरी वेल kept or well like person who's well dressed, well behaved, और लाइक बड़ा पॉइज्ड और बड़ा यानी प्रेजेंटेबल किस्म की, और इस तरह की कोई पर्सनालिटी आती है, एवरीबडी इज ड्रॉन टुवर्ड्स देम। सब टर्न करके उनको देखते ज़रूर हैं कि यार ये बड़ी जो है वेल पुट टुगेदर एक पर्सनालिटी है, बंदा हो बंदी हो, यू जस्ट हैव अ मुड़ के देखता ज़रूर है बंदा एक दफ़ा कि यार ये बड़ी ऑरा है और बड़ा उनका रोब है। तो वो कैसे आता है, वो बड़ा कॉन्शियसली वो लोग अपने आप पे इन्वेस्ट कर रहे होते हैं, और वो सोच के अपने आप को ऐसे उठना है, ऐसे बैठना है, ऐसे ड्रेसअप करना है, ऐसे नाइस एंड नीट पर्सन अपनी रखनी है हमेशा। तो वो एक बनती है, एक रेपुटेशन बनती है आपकी कि दिस पर्सन इज ऑलवेज दिस। और इनको हमने
हाँ।
कभी डिशेवल्ड नहीं देखा, इनको हमने कभी ऐसे नहीं देखा, इनको कभी हमने ऊंचा हा 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 करते नहीं देखा, कभी बतीसी नहीं नजर आई, इस सब बातें होती है ना आपस में फैमिली में लोगों के बारे में। So all these things are somewhere along the way. These are all conscious decisions. तो जिस फील्ड में भी देखो, in any field you take up, whether it is modeling, whether it is a good cricketer, or whether it is something, The one thing you will realize is they are very, very, very conscious. Very, very. वो तकवा जो है ना, the
Hmm.
focus, the consciousness, the self accountability, mahasba, the thing is like they're doing everything. They're counting their portions. They're counting calories. They're counting,
Yeah.
This is what taqwa is basically. And this is what I was surprised when there was once there was we had paying guests in our house.
Hmm.
So two Japanese girls, they were living in our house. And
Hmm.
we were so surprised. Mama often, even now, she recalls at times that they would write a diary at the end of the day before sleeping. They would write a diary of what they did today and of what they will do
Hmm.
tomorrow.
That is such a good habit. That
Hmm.
is such a good habit.
And then next day they
They're
will take,
even
you know.
taught this from their school.
Hmm.
Have to do it in their school even. Uh, these I think Japanese and Chinese. I don't know. Like
Hmm.
I think I heard somewhere that they have to have this thing, their day to day, in which they have to write what they did, what they have to do that day, and what they have to do the next day.
Hmm.
That is so. That is such a good way, disciplined way to keep yourself
And
in check.
even how much money they spent and how they spent it. Budgeting,
Ah,
budgeting.
budgeting. Yeah.
Hmm. So one of these days, I was just noticing, like for example, randomly, like we went somewhere and we would buy some snacks, some cookies and things, and like now, Alhamdulillah, we have become a lot more conscious and eating, properly because of some. We watched some videos about processed food and how they're making. This is basically actually junk food. We are putting junk into our bodies. So we've been watching some documentaries and stuff. So we've become like we've been hearing these things. We couldn't leave them, but now, Alhamdulillah, slowly. So we've left soft drinks and these
Mm.
colas and sodas, and so we've left them. Even the kids don't ask for them. So instead, we prefer to make lemonades or lassi or yogurt drinks, milkshakes, other things, smoothies, not the colas and sodas. So we look for alternatives now. But I was going through these things, so I realized that when we would buy, going around picking up cookies and chips and other things, so I was adding up, and it was like unnecessarily chocolates and this and this and this and that. So $30-40, and at every trip that you go,
Yeah.
and then it adds up to like end of the month, it would add up to $200-300 or maybe more. Like I'm just giving a rough estimate. So $300-400 you're spending on chips and cookies and such things, and then you realize that okay, if I had not spent that on that junk, that's like a whole iPad, that's a whole laptop, that's a whole this thing. And then you start realizing that okay, you're making some big mess in budgeting,
Hmm.
and you have to realize it yourself. Nobody else can make you realize that. You have to ask Allah Ta'ala to guide and then come to, because most people in our society, young children, when they go into a marriage, they don't even know how to budget.
Hmm.
They just feel entitled. We have to get the new dress. We have to get a new dress on Eid. We have to get new shoes. They have 20 new pairs of shoes. They need a new shoes. They need new
Yeah.
clothes. It's such a ajibo garib cultural things we are following that, and we are like somebody would shame us or anything, or it's a shameful thing to repeat a dress or what. The other day, I saw this video that the Kate Middleton, or what's her name, the Kate
Yeah.
something, Queen of,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Queen to be, right? Queen to be of England. So she wore a coat for the fourth time.
Yeah.
And somebody had commented, "Oh, thank God, now I won't have to." Thank God, that's such a burden off my head that I can wear my coat one more time. Somebody had like I think that was somebody had mocked. So
Some people go beyond those thinking. I mean, for them, it doesn't matter. I mean, I even, I've been admonished or, you know, sort of shamed that I wore this, this outfit at that time, and I would hardly even notice. I would
hmm,
not. I mean, it's just not that important. So
hmm.
I, there are so many things or cultures or things that I would follow, but this thing, I mean, I it just doesn't
Yeah,
come to.
the problem is, I mean, just imagine that a person with a Mercedes or a Bentley or Rolls Royce is
Yeah.
feeling it is a luxury for them to have a horse and ride a horse.
Hmm.
But a person who's riding on a Tonka
Yeah.
is backward and poor and blah blah blah. But for the elite, if they choose to go on a horse, that's fashion.
Yeah.
So this is ajib. Like a billionaire can wear a thrift store T-shirt, and that's what a philanthropist, what a generous person, what a minimalist, and wah wah wah. And anybody else who does that, oh, cheapo or
Yeah.
cheapster, or why did you do this? Or so many other. So we have no standards basically. People have no standards when it comes to opening their mouths. They're just overly impressed by the rich, and whatever they do is legal. And the rest of the world, whatever they do, they have to like be criticized. There's some kind of a stupidity in some foolishness. In It's a disease basically that the rich can do whatever and nobody else has the right to do anything or even breathe. You know, they will have a comment of how are you breathing? You know,
Yeah.
लोगों का बस चले तो वो तो हमारा सांस रुकवा दे.
Hmm.
So this is what it is. Like, how many of our decisions are every day affected by लोग क्या कहेंगे, and then वो
Fine, yeah.
लोग क्या कहेंगे के पीछे people are rejecting God, people are rejecting Deen, people are not reading the Quran, people are
Uh,
hiding and doing salah. That, oh, what will people say? When my nano used to tell me that she would not go to she for a while, like she left salah because some of her relatives would be like, why are your arms like this and not like this? You know.
uh,
So yeah, seriously,
yeah.
I mean, we are living in a time when we haven't even seen Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We hope that we will get a bonus for this. You know, we get a bonus pass marks for this, that you didn't even see him, you didn't receive the wahi, so you just heard and believed and you were ready to die for him. But talking about these things like हाथ ऐसे हों या ऐसे हों ऐसे, well, somebody is
Yeah.
doing salah, let them do salah.
Uh, just an example, like, an incident came to my mind. I mean, my Tayabu, he's not very, jo namaz shamaz padna or anything. So, so he's always, every now and then, the other brothers, or, they would say, कि भाई, you should pray and you should. So he said, you know what? इतना मुझे वो मतलब कहते रहते थे, मैं मस्जिद गया, and he was like, I started, and um I went one day, and he was even having difficulty recounting, like, remembering how is the wuzu supposed to be done and stuff. So he went one day, and then he went another day, and the I think maybe some imam of that masjid, and he said, okay, you're new, and so he said, okay, let me guide you to how the wuzu is supposed to be done. I see that you're making a little, you're not very mindful of how you're doing it. So then he started. He said, when you put the water in your, nose, it has to go up to that bone over here inside. And then when you put your, the fingers across your head, and the water has to touch the roots of all your hair. And then if you don't do this, this will be, if this part is not, the wuzu water doesn't go to this part, it will be burnt in hell. And then this is the way so he was like, it just, he said it threw me back so much. I mean, I felt so much of, okay, I can't do this, I can't do it like this. I would be fearful of doing the wuzu before every namaz. And he just backed out. And I was like, this was such an unnecessary thing for that guy, that imam, to scare him to such an extent of just over
Hmm.
the wuzu. कि it actually, वो जो इतना वो एक वो अपना वो करके कन्विंस करके अपने आप को लेकर गए थे कुछ
Hmm.
दिन के लिए. He was like, hey, this is really, I can't do this, I can't follow this it like this.
Hmm.
तो so कुछ unnecessary compulsions जो कि self created थी.
I say this is very important because we often overlook the fact that maybe the imam has had an OCD or something. You know, we don't even know.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
people who are imams or who are they're so-called like we make them as somebody special. They're ordinary human beings.
Hmm.
Just because they are imam doesn't mean that they have succeeded. Like
Yeah.
not successful yet. The day of judgment is going to be the day when the results are going to be announced. Except for the prophets and the people that the prophets declared that they are successful. Apart from them, nobody knows. Nobody knows who is successful, who's not successful. The results are
Hmm.
coming out on the day of judgment. Till then, nobody is certain. Apart from the prophets, apart from the people that have been highlighted that okay, this person, they are successful. Apart from them, we don't know about anyone. So, Imam Masjid is doing, he's doing neki, he's doing it for his own kabar. I am doing something, I'm doing for my kabar. Anybody who's doing any Sufi, any saint, they say they did something, any Mufassir who wrote a tafsir or who did bayan or whatever they did, they are doing for their own graves. Even they don't know if they are successful or not. The results are going to be out on the day of judgment. So I don't understand why people start venerating and making people at high pedestal and taking them to like making them celebrities. Like people are crazy over singers. They make them. They even call them idols.
Hmm.
And like American Idol and such like talent shows that are showing them as idols. They're not even apologetic. They call them idols openly, and they are people
Yeah.
idolizing them. They're actually like spending all their time talking to them, talking about them, buying their posters, buying their tickets, going to their concerts, listening to their songs. They're kind of worshiping them,
Yeah.
kind of like a worship rituals, spending all your time and energy and focus. Allah says, remember me standing, sitting, lying down. They're standing, sitting, lying down, they're listening to songs. Right?
Yeah.
So they're not doing tasbih, they're singing songs. So they're kind of doing their tasbih of the people whose songs
Hmm.
they're listening to. So I don't understand why people start, feeling that we have um, the humility evaporates basically.
Hmm.
The pomp and the pride, and oh, maybe we have achieved something. We are at a position of. There can be promotion, there can be demotion in Islam. There can be habitat amaluhu, like Allah can make everything weightless. Allah Ta'ala can do negative marking. Allah Ta'ala can take away all the good deeds. This is also there. On the day of
Hmm.
judgment, even there's a hadith about the bankrupt people who will be, the bankrupt people from among the ummah are the people who will go on the day of judgment and then they will have to compensate other people they have wronged with their property.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then they'll be left with nothing. And they'll have
Yeah.
mountains of good deeds, but they'll give them away to anybody they've hurt, slandered, or hit. or somebody they owe money or something to, and then they would have mountains and mountains of good deeds and they will have nothing. And they'll be like, oh, what happened? After giving everything away, they'll be like, what happened?
And they will still have to compensate those people they have wronged, and then those wronged people's bad deeds will be put in there.
Yeah, just imagine.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why people start thinking that just because they become imam, masjid, or they're a qari, or they're this and they have become successful. No, we don't know yet. There's absolutely no need to be fearless and start thinking that they've succeeded. But one thing, I think we've discussed it a bit. I think it's enough for today. We can continue next time with some maybe some solutions. And today we just discussed about the problem, that why these are very big issues and we have not been taught uh, the art of decision making and how to not go into denial, how to prevent going into denial, how to not do kufr, and how to make good decisions every moment, how to analyze and prioritize. And making priorities is also a decision, part of decision making.
Definitely.
planning
Yeah.
planning our 24 hours, how we spend our 24 hours, how we spend our week, how we spend our month, how we spend our year. It's all important because we're going to be asked about it. You know, Allah Ta'ala is going to ask, where did you spend your time? Where did you spend your youth? Where did you spend your opportunities? Where did you spend your. So these are things that we have to plan for. We have to have bigger plans.
Mindfulness. Yeah.
This is mindfulness, this is taqwa.
Yeah.
Conscious, mindful decisions is planning, goal setting.
And this has to be done by, there has to be some repeat reminders. I mean, like, you decided that we should talk about this, and I was hesitant, and then I got into this. But
This
this
is
is
also one.
definitely something that has given me, a little. Okay, I have to be aware of this. I have to be mindful. I have to keep this in mind. Why do we forget these things? The
Hmm,
basics, the where it all started from and what it is going into. And, we just forget.
hmm,
We are, most of us are just, carrying ourselves into that victim mentality. The blame on the other person. We are not being accountable of our own selves, of where we did the wrong decisions, of where we went wrong.
hmm. And one more very, very important thing, which I also suffer from, where I forget a lot, is that everything is time barred.
Yeah.
This is something we just take for granted.
Yeah.
Like, look at Fajr, look at Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. They have their time of entry and time of exit.
Yeah.
अभी अभी शुरू हुआ नमाज का वक्त, अभी खत्म हो गया.
Yeah.
अभी एक नमाज का वक्त शुरू हुआ, अभी खत्म हो गया. आप इशा के टाइम पे फजर नहीं पढ़ सकते. आप
Yeah, you can't get it back. वो qaza होती है. And qaza is like, the
Ra
death.
means गई, dead, gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's a gone opportunity.
Yeah.
So that is how strict we have to be ourselves. When we discipline ourselves, we have to be that strict. ये चीज आज करनी है, इस टाइम पे करनी है. You know, we have to be that strict. Not like, oh yeah, okay, tomorrow, 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 and after 6 years also tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow.
Ah.
10 years बाद भी tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. No, we should fear inaction more than the consequence.
Hmm.
बात करूंगे, ये हो जाएगा, ये रिजल्ट आ जाएगा, ना हो जाएगी. नो, ना बात करना या ना एक्ट करना या ना जाना या उस काम को ना करना या वो कॉल ना करना या अपॉइंटमेंट ना लेना या ये ना करना. यू शुड फियर
Hmm.
दैट inactivity, you know, inactivity, fear it more than. मतलब imagine somebody is fearing नमाज पढ़ेंगे कबूल नहीं होगी.
हाँ हाँ
इस बात में पढ़नी नहीं है, पढ़नी नहीं है, क्योंकि नहीं नहीं मेरी नमाज कहाँ कबूल होनी है। भाई पढ़ो तो सही, पढ़ो
या
तो
डेफिनेट।
सही, पढ़ो तो सही। जिसने कबूल करनी है वो बहुत रहीम है, पढ़ो तो सही।
या
नहीं 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 नहीं, मेरी मेरी नहीं नमाज कबूल होनी, मैंने नहीं पढ़नी। खुद ही से डिसीजन बना लेनी। और वो इनएक्टिविटी शुड बी फियर्ड, inactivity should be feared more than the consequence of your action. And
हम्म
you should always remember that all the negative talk in the brain is coming from shaitan, that is the waswasa. All the inferiority complex is coming from shaitan, because उसने कसम खाई हुई है कि ये तो मेरे से कमतर है, ये तो मेरे से है। उसने गैस लाइटिंग, जो हम अपने अंदर अपने आप को गैस लाइटिंग कर रहे होते हैं ना खुद से, वो शैतान कर रहा होता है। वो शैतान हमारे अंदर, और वो क्रिटिसिज्म, ओवर क्रिटिसिज्म, नेगेटिव क्रिटिसिज्म, ये कहते हैं ना कंस्ट्रक्टिव डिस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म, शैतान कर रहा होता है। बिकॉज शैतान वांट्स टू डिस्ट्रॉय अस। शैतान doesn't
हम्म
want that we become a sabiqun. Shaitan doesn't want that we achieve something. He doesn't want that we become, muqarrab of Allah Ta'ala, that we have forerunners, toppers, distinction holders, gold medalists अल्लाह की नज़र में।
हाँ
तो शैतान सारी नेगेटिव टॉक जो आ रही होती है दिमाग के अंदर, शैतान डाल रहा होता है। शैतान, मुझे तो कभी कभी लगता है जैसे हम खुद ही शैतान है। बिकॉज
ऐसे ही है,
वो इसलिए कि
क्योंकि
नफ्स,
हम
शैतान
पूरे
वाज ऑल
शैतान ने
नफ्स।
प्रोग्रामिंग कर दी हमारी
एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग जो ऑटो पायलट पे चल रहा है ना, जो
हाँ
कॉन्शियसली नहीं चल रहा, वो शैतान है। बिकॉज शैतान
हाँ
ने भी अपने नफ्स को फॉलो किया था। शैतान के ऊपर कोई इब्लीस नहीं था, देयर वाज नो इब्लीस ऑन शैतान, ही वाज फॉलोइंग
हाँ
हिज ओन नफ्स। So any human being who's on autopilot now, following culture, following trends, following easily influenced by every जहाँ हवा चली उधर चल पड़े, those people, the random autopilot people, aimless, purposeless people are all they have one thing in common with shaitan, and that is nafs.
या
So they are shaitan by default. तो एक डिफॉल्ट ह्यूमन की जो है ना, वो तो मासूम है ना, जब तक वो अल्लाह ताला उनको अकाउंटेबल नहीं ठहराते प्यूबर्टी तक, ठीक है। आफ्टर प्यूबर्टी भी जो अपनी हालत नहीं बदलता ना, इल्म हासिल नहीं करता, उम्मी रहता है, लाइक फ्रॉम द मदर्स वूम वाली हालत में, दे प्रेफर टू बी इन दैट स्टेट के। एक मैं स्कॉलर को सुन रही थी, वाज सच अ ब्यूटीफुल थिंग, he said it's now your responsibility to not remain in that situation, in that darkness that you came out of. When Allah Ta'ala gave you life, you came out of the mother's womb, you have Quran, you have light. And then if you stay in darkness, then it's your fault. Then you choose to stay in darkness, it's your fault. So after a certain period of time, when Allah Ta'ala starts holding us accountable, then the default is not masoom, then the default is shaitan. Anybody who stays on the nafs, on autopilot, that is a shaitan state. Unless and until you do tazkiya, you tame your nafs. अभी मैं पढ़ रही थी, इमाम गजाली का कॉल था कि नफ्स इज लाइक वाइल्ड हॉर्स, यू हैव टू टेम इट।
या
टेम करने के लिए बड़ा डिसिप्लिन, बड़ी एक्सरसाइज, बड़ा कुछ करना पड़ता है, बड़ा कॉन्शियस एफर्ट लगानी पड़ती है। जैसे मसल बिल्ड करते हैं जिम में लोग जाके, इस तरह से नफ्स को बड़ा एक्सरसाइज से गुजारना पड़ता है, फिर जाके आपको डिसिप्लिन दिखाना पड़ता है। सो वी हैव टू चेंज कॉन्शियसली, वी हैव टू कॉन्शियसली चेंज, सी वेयर वी आर गोइंग, मेक एवरी डिसीजन। देयर वाज दिस hadith about people who, there was this man who migrated because he wanted to marry a woman. The Prophet ﷺ said it, the one who marries for a woman, migrates for a woman, that's his reward.
द वुमन
हाँ,
हाँ
उसको मिल गया, उसने जिस चीज के लिए माइग्रेट किया, उसको अल्लाह नहीं मिलेगा, उसको जन्नत नहीं मिलेगी उस माइग्रेशन पे। ही माइग्रेटेड फॉर द वुमन। इसी तरह if somebody went to jung, that they will get a red camel, or they will get some portion of the camel or something, or some male ganimat, or then that person got his reward when he gets the male ganimat. Whatever he
या
will
there's
get
also
in it,
that there's also that incident of where there was a Sahaba Karam, and he made a window in his Roshandan in his house, and the Prophet ﷺ asked him, "Hey, why did you make this?" And he said, "It's for the good light, and it's for हवा आएगी और इस तरह करके." And the Prophet said, if you had made it with the niyyah of कि अजान की आवाज क्लियर आएगी, तो हवा और सन तो वैसे भी आ जाना था.
Hmm.
You would have
But
achieved, but you
but
would have
reward
had
भी मिल
the,
जाता है. Hmm.
yeah, reward मिलना था.
Hmm. So this is the difference between consciously doing something and or doing something on autopilot like ghafil. That's a ghafla wali baat na. Autopilot is basically the halat of ghafla,
Yeah.
right? ghaflat अल्लाह को पसंद नहीं है. अल्लाह ताला को ghaflat नहीं पसंद है. अल्लाह ताला को conscious और focused or clarity of mind, mindful people. They are the ones Allah Ta'ala prefers. And come to think of it, anybody, anywhere in the world you go, any job you take, the pet person of the boss would be the person who's most present of mind.
Yeah.
So this is not a rocket science. We've just never been taught it, broken down and one by one, brick by brick, break down करके हमें किसी ने पढ़ाया नहीं. The structure, the construct, कि ये है, basically ये है, ये basics हैं. And they are not that difficult. Come to think of it, इतनी कोई डिफिकल्ट चीज़ नहीं है जो हम 1 घंटे में ब्रेक डाउन कर सकते हैं. इसका मतलब हमें 12 साल की एजुकेशन जो स्कूल की थी सिर्फ, we could have easily overcome these things and discuss them and polish them and polish them and polish them. अब तक तो मास्टर कर चुके होते these skills. और इतनी अच्छी कॉन्शियसनेस परसेप्शन और ये सारी हमारी डेवलप हो गई होती है अभी तक. So it's
Yeah.
not a इतनी बड़ी rocket science भी नहीं थी. That's something that we can capture within 1 hour of discussion. And imagine karo repeated sessions and repeated exercises of mindfulness since school time, especially in younger children. It would have been so beneficial. Nobody bothered. And even I have seen people who are like talking about and praising, and there's a person who's so in love with for example, somebody who's very much in love with Hazrat Ali or very much in love with Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and then the Sahaba, other Sahaba, or Awais al-Qarni or Abu Huraira, and they're doting on them and they're talking about them and they're repeatedly, and they're in their worldly matters, they're drooling over the world, they're doing their businesses, they're worried, they have shops and their businesses and things, and they're all the time they're worried about their losses and profits and immersed in life. And when you think about it, what was the exclamation that Hazrat Ali made when he was struck by a poisoned sword or a, dagger, was it, or a sword? It was poisoned. All night he had kept it in poison, deadly poison, and the attacker. And what was the exclamation he made? Fustu birabbil Kaaba. Like it's like Allah ki kasam main kamyab ho gaya. Can we imagine such a thing? In the heat of the moment, in the very, you know, in the middle of pit of the fire, or in the middle of something very traumatic, and what is your exclamation? Not help, not save me. Allah ki kasam, I have succeeded. What mindset is required? What do we learn from this? What kind of an approach to life should we have? That he's given a death blow and he's exclaiming, I have succeeded. And then we have a similar statement Tuba lil Ghuraba. And then we have a similar statement in the Quran. Congratulate the Sabirin. Bashir is Sabirin.
Hmm.
Hmm? What are these? We don't even know what these mean.
Hmm.
So estranged or so alien to these terms. Although these are the things that should be creating our, you know, normal worldview. Like we should
Hmm.
remember that, okay, even if I get a pinprick, then a sin is forgiven, or I get something, compensation in Jannah, or some form of, it's khair for me. Even if I get a pinprick, if I get a thorn prick or anything like that, even a slight cut, paper cut,
Yeah,
rewarded.
mindfulness.
I'm rewarded.
स्मूथ मोड नहीं रहना हमने, हाँ,
Hmm.
माइंडफुलनेस होनी है.
Hmm. So let's wrap up on this thought, and let's ponder over this thing. That are we? How far? How many miles? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles away. So many things that we don't even think about. We should keep them in mind. Constantly उनको repeat करना चाहिए, और हमें mindfully ये decisions अपने ना जहन में रखनी चाहिए कि अल्लाह से बात करते रहें, अल्लाह ताला से कंसल्ट करते रहें, अच्छी decisions बनाते रहें. और I mean, Allah Ta'ala is saying, congratulate the ones who are patient. और हम, first thing we do is we become impatient when we are struck with some, अल्लाह ना करे कोई problem आती है, कुछ आता है, कोई challenge आता है life में, and we are like, why is this happening? We fail at the first step. So बहुत important है that we equip ourselves, equip our children, and become बकायदा, जिसे कहते हैं ना कि आप देखो, छोटी सी एग्जांपल है. When we were young, so many days we didn't feel like going to school, right? And पेरेंट्स उठाते थे, फोर्स करते थे, कहते थे जाओ.
Yeah.
अगर किसी दिन some day, suppose there was a surprise math test or something, and maybe, yeah, I was a good student, but alhamdulillah, like, even being a good student, maybe once in a 6 months period, I would also not feel like going because I wasn't prepared or something for some reason or the other. So I would also say, "Ki nahi, I have a tummy ache, or today I don't feel like going," or I would actually feel, unwell at the idea of going. But even then, parents would be like, "No, no, it's okay, go, get ready, go." And then we'd go to school and we'd end up feeling good and have a good day and play around and then forget the feeling that we had in the morning. So similarly, there's so many things after a certain period of time when we are no longer in the jurisdiction of the parents and we are on our own, so to speak. There are so many hesitations. We say no more than yes to so many things. Why has that happened? Like our parents used to push us and force us to go to school, right? But after that, where has the drive gone? Like we are no longer, most of the people I see, they would put off things rather than going ahead with them.
वो natural tendency है of the human being. First, you know that it's your parents' decision. You had not much of a say or not much, okay. मजबूर होकर, तो जब तक बच्चे थे तो पेरेंट्स की डिसीजन पे चल रहे थे.
Hmm.
एंड कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस जो थे वो भी पेरेंट्स के ऊपर ही आते थे उसके,
Hmm.
whatever. तो एक वो माइंड सेट था जब अपने उस पे डिसीजन मेकिंग पे और कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फेस करने पे या अपने उसमें आ गए हैं, तो देन वी शो कि वो कहाँ गया वो डिसीजन और कहाँ गया एवरीथिंग.
So
सो
what
आप
what is
नेचुरली
lacking? What is lacking? What is the deficiency? Is it courage? Is it belief?
हाँ,
Tawakkul? What is it? Iman?
डेफिनेटली विद टाइम आई थिंक जिस चीज को पॉलिश नहीं किया और जिस चीज को नहीं फॉलो किया वो ग्रेजुअली रिग्रेस करेगी.
Hmm. I mean, if I want to go out and get ice cream, I would go out and get ice cream. But यही अगर मैंने कोई और काम करना होगा, कोई अच्छा पॉजिटिव काम करना होगा, तो आई थिंक 100 times about it and even then not do it.
तो फिर एक और फोर्स है ना, एक अननोन फोर्स भी जो आपकी बेहतर चीज में आपके अगेंस्ट वर्क करती है आपके ऊपर.
Hmm.
दैट इज वन थिंग.
So we
फिर
need
आपको
to be, फिर उसके लिए consciousness develop करनी पड़ेगी ना, that we have to fight it off and we have to wrestle it. We have to wrestle with that force then. We can't just give in, you know. उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Surrender. We have to surrender only to Allah Ta'ala. We cannot surrender to Shaitan. We are surrendering to Shaitan every day. Every time we are procrastinating on good things, we are surrendering and submitting to Shaitan and not Allah Ta'ala. Because otherwise, Allah Ta'ala को submit कर रहे होते तो हम शैतान को surrender ना कर रहे होते. We can't do two things. This is like a dual personality kind of, dilemma. उसको भी खुश करना है तो अल्लाह की भी माननी है तो शैतान को भी खुश करना, ऐसे तो नहीं चल सकता ना. So we have to make this is a decision we have to make. Honestly, this is a decision we have to make. Whose side are we on? We really have to make this decision. Are we on Allah's side? Are we clear that the time is running out? Timer is on. Time is running out. We cannot delay things. We have to do good deeds. Allah has given clear instructions. We have to keep doing good deeds. We have to do, like, every moment that comes to you, let it go back with a neki. Even if it is tasbih, zikr, you know. लाइक बेगर आता है ना, नॉक करता है दरवाजे पे, इसी तरह एक एक लम्हा आ रहा है आपके पास. व्हाट आर यू गिविंग इट?
या और वही ज्यादा पावरफुल होगा, वही ज्यादा ऊपर वो आपके ऊपर हावी होगा, तो आप ज्यादा.
भैया आप ये देखो ना, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह इज हेवियर ऑन द हेवीएस्ट थिंग ऑन द स्केल्स.
या
द लीस्ट यू कैन डू इज ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह की आदत डाल लो, और उसके साथ अल्लाह ताला ने नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के थ्रू बता दिया, अदद खल्की रिजा नफ्सी जिन्नती अर्शी मिदादी कलिमात. सुभान अल्लाह पढ़ लो हर सेकंड के साथ, सुभान अल्लाह. हर दिल की धड़कन के साथ बंदा पढ़ ले सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह, सुभान अल्लाह. और उसके साथ आप अदद खल्की रिजा नफ्सी जिन्नती अर्शी मिदादी कलिमात लगा दो. तो अदद खल्की में all the angels he has created, all the atoms, all the bloods, even कितने ट्रिलियन ब्लड सेल्स हैं हमारी बॉडी के अंदर, कितने जेटाबाइट्स, पता नहीं कितने कितने नंबर्स हैं यार, इतने ह्यूज नंबर्स में चली जाती गेम. एंड वी कैन नॉट इमेजिन व्हेन वी से अदद खल्की, अल्लाह की खल्क, मखलूक की तादाद के बराबर आप एक तस्बीह कर रहे हो. वी हैव नो क्लू हाउ बिग इट इज. And it is counted. I mean, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has broken it down like you would break it down for a kindergarten student. That alif pe 10 neki, lam pe 10 neki, mim pe 10 neki. You're saying this tasbih, you're getting 150 rewards here, you're getting 1050 rewards. Like, I was listening to this description yesterday. Na? I was surprised that he broke it down like you would break it down to a 2-year-old, 3-year-old. So simple our religion is. And people are paying so much money going to therapists, psychologists, people, quacks who are calling themselves, everybody who's taking short course diploma, ye wo, they're getting, I'm a therapist, I'm this and that. हर कोई hypnotist बनने लगा हुआ है, हर कोई इस तरह करके. तो कुछ भी नहीं आता जाता उनको, और लोगों को बिला वजह वो मिसगाइड कर रहे हैं। ये थेरेपी भी ये मिनी मिनी गॉड्स बनाते जा रहे हैं, जा जाके अपनी अल्लाह के सामने अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स को बताने के बजाय जी हमें किसी ह्यूमन को जाके अपनी प्रॉब्लम सुनानी है। तो all you need is to come back to the basics, listen to the Quran, recite the Quran, ponder on the meanings, reflect on the meanings, reflect on the basics, very basics, and decide that when, how is it possible that when I have to go and get, samosa खाना है, fruit चाट खानी है, आइसक्रीम खानी है, ब्राउनी खानी है, उस वक्त कोई नहीं रोकता। उस वक्त नहीं ख्याल आता कि ये किस्मत में नहीं था या था, या दाना पानी, उस वक्त नहीं ख्याल आता। लेकिन जब अल्लाह की राह में कोई काम करना होता है ना, फौरन नफ्स जो है वो कह देता है यार ये तो किस्मत में नहीं था, ये तो आज होना नहीं था, ये तो होना होता तो हो जाता। नो,